Hey ladies, happy Friday. I am excited to be here with you this morning and do a video on making videos. Definitely something that is near and dear to my heart because of the impact that it has had on my business and kind of my fear around creating videos when I was getting started. Hey Sunny, so glad you're here. And Sunny, I want to say congrats on your wedding, which is awesome. I saw some very cool pictures. So talking about videos and are they important? Do we really need them in our business? If you're freaking scared of doing videos, like what to do about that if you do want to do them. Sunny says she was so blocked on doing videos. Yeah, are you doing them now or have you done any? Yeah, let me know. And if you hop on, say hello. I like to know who's watching. So I want to talk all about doing videos and are they really essential in your business? Are they important? Can you get away with not doing them? Like I said, if you're scared of doing them, like how do you kind of work through that and actually do them? Because for me, this was like a huge thing. And I think a lot of people get really scared, like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to know what to say. I'm going to look foolish. Who am I to create a video about something that I don't maybe know that much about, or I don't think I'm enough of an expert, kind of that thing where we always think I need to know more I have to have more training. I need to know more. I may not know what to say. What if someone asks me a question on the video and I don't know how to answer it? What if I get here and I just like freeze up and I don't say anything, especially if you're doing a video live, like there can be a lot of scary thoughts that go on in your mind and can stop you. Hey, Molly. Molly said she wants to do them, and she's not scared, which is awesome, but struggle to make time to schedule them in. Yeah, so I can talk about that as well. Sunny's saying yeah to all the things. Yeah, Sunny, I hear it from everyone, and I experience all this myself, so I know all that. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, so what I want to talk about is why I think that videos are important. And I truly think they're really important because in order to get to really know, like, and trust someone, video is a really powerful tool for that. So if you think about it, like number one is actually meeting someone in person. Like if you actually meet someone in person, you get to like shake their hand, give them a hug, like, kind of see them, see their personality, feel their energy. Like that's like probably the number one thing that we could do to really increase that know, like, trust factor. But a lot of us want to have an online business. Like for me, I know that's what I wanted to do. And I didn't especially like going to like networking events and stuff like that. Like I actually tried that when I first started my business because I had more of my business was like an in-person, I was doing chiropractic and nutrition with people and working out of a clinic. So I did a lot of networking events. And I literally like hated them. And that's not being said, like, I think you can find some good networking events. And I think it can be a really great way to make some good connections with people. But truthfully, I think marketing online is a lot more effective at getting you in front of your ideal client and a lot more efficient at doing it because you can really target people and get in front of the people that you really want to be working with. Where I was going to all these networking events and it was like, businessmen and, just people that I didn't really connect with. I mean, even I went to some women's ones and they were okay, but it didn't feel like my people. I tried quite a few different ones. So if you want to build a business online, I do think that video is really essential because it really increases that know, like, trust factor way more than you can through writing or even like an audio if you did like even a podcast or something. I think video just brings it to the next level as far as people really getting to see you and connect with you. There's something really to be said with actually seeing a person. That's why I think even when it comes to like your website and stuff, or any sort of social media, that it's really important to put yourself out there and to let people see who you are and that you're an actual person. And I know even just for like myself, if if I can't tell who someone is, or if they're even like a real person from like their Facebook profile or something that they put out there, like their website, there's no pictures of them or anything, like I'm not likely to work with that person or to sign up for them with them for anything, because I want to know who they are. I want to know like they're an actual person. And I think this is especially important with coaching, because we are our brand. We are truly, we're kind of like selling ourselves. We're selling the transformation that we provide, but that happens through working with us. So we really are like selling ourselves. So it's really important to allow people to get to know you, know what you're all about, your personality, the things that you like to do. Like, people want to know all these things when they're signing up to work with you, because a lot of times they're working with you one-on-one or working pretty closely with you. So I think it's important for them to be able to feel that connection. So keep that in mind. Like, if you're not putting yourself out there, even in like pictures and stuff on your social media, like even if you think about like Instagram, if I scroll through someone's Instagram, it may be like beautiful and it may look all on brand, but if there's no pictures of them in there and I can't even tell like it's a person, it's just like all random pictures, I have no interest in that. Like, I want to connect with people, not just with like, images of things. So I think like that's really important. Like, coaching is really all about those connections. So the more you can put yourself out there and get visible and take some pictures of yourself, like, this has been a long learning lesson for me, because when I first got started in my business, I was really scared of being visible. And I wasn't someone who normally posted on social media at all, like barely at all. And so it was a huge jump to go from barely being visible on social media to all of a sudden like posting pictures about me. Like, I remember when I took my first selfie and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even do this. I can't take a selfie. Like, this is ridiculous. And now, I do them all the time. But just kind of like getting over that little hump. And I really think it's just like practice. But it's that same thing when it comes to video. It's kind of like getting over that little hump and practicing. And it gets so much easier as you do it. Danielle, hi Danielle. Excited you're here. Yeah, if anyone else hops on, let me know. And if you can relate to any of the stuff I'm saying, let me know. And of course, if you have questions, pop them in the box. So the other thing about video is it really helps as far as building your authority. So I think way more than even like a written post, you can really let people get to know who you are and what you're all about, and talk about subjects and build that authority. So video is just a great tool. And I think we're so blessed to kind of have the internet and have videos and have all these tools at our disposal that are so easy to use. I mean, I'm shooting this video right now with my phone. Like, it's super simple. I have it like set up on my computer, not even using my tripod or anything right now. Like, it doesn't have to be challenging. Priscilla's saying she can see how networking events would not be ideal for an introvert. Exactly. And that's the thing, like, when you put me in with like a whole huge group of people, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming to me. And I think it's just like all the energy of all those people. And I think, I like people and I like interacting with people, but it has to be like the right situation. And networking events can just be like, totally overwhelming. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Roxy. Roxy's saying, me too. Yeah. Yeah, networking events. Actually, I've gone to a few that are good, and usually like women's ones, but you have to find the right fit, because I've gone to a few that just, even women's ones that were not good. So I think they can be great just for connecting with other people who are like-minded too, and just kind of building that connection, even more if it's not so much about getting business from them, but just more even for getting friends. So I think networking events can be good for that, if you're looking to connect with other like-minded people. So the other good thing about videos, especially live videos, is that you can like interact with people. And that's what I really like even about like having a Facebook group and stuff, because for me, since I am an introvert, and I think I excel at interacting with people like one-on-one or in smaller groups. I think having like a Facebook group and even like doing live videos and stuff, it's nice to be able to interact with people, as opposed to feeling like all the content that you're putting out there you don't really know who's seeing it, and you don't really feel like you're actually making it for someone. It's just kind of like you're writing the stuff and you're like, is anyone even watching it? Does anyone even care? And so that's why I always help my clients with like building a Facebook group and stuff. So you actually have a community of people who want to hear what you're saying and they care, as opposed to like feeling like you're always selling to your friends and your family, and that they might not really get it, or really, they might interact with your stuff, but they're not at all the people that you would want to be working with anyways. So I think when you're always creating content for those people, it can be a little frustrating because you're like, these people aren't really who I want to be talking to anyways. So that's one of the things that I really stress as far as like building a community of your people that you can be talking to, because it feels a lot different than if you're creating a bunch of content and you don't really feel like anyone is seeing it or really cares what you're talking about. It actually makes it a lot different and a lot easier. So I want to talk just a little bit about my start with video. So I will tell you, it took me over a year to do a video in my business, and it was maybe even more like a year and a half, because I was so scared of doing them. Literally, like, you would turn a video camera on anywhere around me and I would like run the other direction. Like I was terrified of doing them. Like, I went to some events. I remember they were like, will you give like a video testimonial? I was like, heck no, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's like the scariest thing ever. So it really, like, it wasn't something that came naturally to me. It was something that was really super scary. And I think too, like, you can start with doing recorded videos if that feels easier to you. I actually like the live ones better now because I think I put less stress on making them perfect. It can be a little more conversational, a little less, like structured. So I actually really enjoy them, and I enjoy interacting with all of you guys on it as well. But when I first got started, I think I did like a few recorded before I did a live one. So that can be an option as well. But really for me, what it was is just practicing. And the more I did them, the more they got easier, the more I liked them. And now I actually prefer doing a video over like doing written content because I just find it more fun. So it's really changed for me. But the other thing I want to say is for me, like, videos felt really scary. They didn't feel icky, but they felt scary. And I think anytime we have this thing but they also felt like something I wanted to do. So I think anytime we have this thing that kind of feels scary, but it's something that we're like, I would like to do it, but it feels really, really scary. I always think that that's like a doorway for us to go through as far as transformation, and a lot of times maybe a necessary step on our journey to success. And for me, when I started doing videos in my business, it made a huge difference. And that's really when I started seeing my business taking off and really growing, is when I started introducing video. So like I said, it was really, really scary for me. It was one of those like big scary things that I had to face, but it was also something that was absolutely essential to growing my business. And so, I mean, I think for a lot of us, we even look at starting our business that way. Like, it's kind of this big, scary thing, but there's so much growth and transformation that happens through the process. And that's why I really like helping people start their businesses, because it's really an awesome journey to go through, and you learn so much through the process and grow and your confidence, and it's awesome. So I would say if you're feeling really scared, know I've been there, and know also that it could be something that's like pulling you toward a huge opportunity as far as, being able to get through some of these obstacles or these fears that may be holding you back from the success and the outcomes and the clients, and the income that you really want. So look at it more that way, like this little obstacle or this thing that I can overcome. That's how I try to look at everything now. Like when I look at something and it feels scary, I'm like, okay, like this is like my next little obstacle that I get to go through and learn on the way. And that has really shifted my perspective on everything that I do now, because it doesn't have to be this big scary thing or this thing that sucks, although some parts of it may suck, but instead I really view it as something that's just part of my journey. So you can look at your videos in that way. And so I just wanted to give you guys some tips for getting started with videos. And if you have any questions, let me know as I'm going. But what I want to say, number one, is always clarity. So clarity on, I'm getting the sun again. Like the sun it wasn't even out now, and now it's out. I got to figure that out. So clarity on your ideal client, because when you know who you're speaking to, it's a lot easier to create content. Otherwise, it's really hard. It's like, what do I talk about? I could talk about anything, and it becomes really confusing and hard to create anything. So I always say you want to know your ideal client. I will put the guide. I have a free guide that you can go through, and it helps you get clear on your ideal client. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put the link around this video, and you can click on it and go through that. Also, if you get really stuck on your ideal client, let me know, because it's something that I really like to help people with. But you really want to know that, because once you know your ideal client, you can figure out what your message is, you can figure out what your program is, and knowing those things I think is pretty important as far as creating content, just because from a confidence standpoint, you feel a lot better about what you're putting out there, and that you actually want clients and you feel ready for clients, and you know the process that you're going to take them through, and you also know who you're speaking to and feel really comfortable and confident with your message. So I think those things, like, that's the starting point, because if you don't know who you're speaking to and what you're talking about, like, how are you supposed to figure out what to talk about in your videos? It becomes really challenging. So once you know those things, then the next thing I always recommend people go through, and they do, is make a list of all the pain points that your ideal client has, and all the things that they really want. So all the outcomes that they want, and all the things that keep them stuck, or the challenge. So it's kind of the same as their challenges, but like the things that are keeping them stuck, or the things that they maybe think they have to do that they don't want to do, or that are scary for them. So when you know all those things, like, you get a huge list that you can use as far as topics to do your videos. So I go through and I do that. I usually add to it regularly. I usually have an ongoing list of topics that I can talk about. And truly, I create this list from things that are going on with my clients. Like, if things are coming up, I'll write those down. And if you don't have any clients yet, like, that's fine, but it could even be things that are going on in your personal life. And so a lot of times I pull from that as well. Like, maybe I'm struggling with something right now. So I could talk about that in my videos too. So it kind of triggers it for me, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, that's going on. I know it's something that my clients struggle with as well. So I'm going to talk about it in my video. Soy Moya, am I saying your name right? Hello, I'm glad you're here. I always hate if I butcher someone's name. So what else did I want to tell you? So when you're going to do a video, how do you get started? You want to start, what I always do, as you can see, like, sometimes I'm looking at my notes here. I usually take some notes, because I just want to remember all the things that I want to talk about. So I go through, jot down some notes, and the things that I typically start with. So you want to think your video, or any sort of content that you create, usually has like a beginning, a middle, and an end. So the beginning is usually an introduction, talk a little bit about what you're going to be talking about, why it's important, and then you want to talk about the middle, which is usually like I'm gonna work on that name. Thank you for the pronunciation, but I'm gonna have to work on that. I was like, I'll probably make it again. So the beginning, the middle, and then the end. So the beginning is an introduction, tell people what you're going to be talking about, why it's important. The middle is usually like I give some tips, kind of like the part I'm going through right now. So my introduction was kind of long. Sometimes it is because I go into a bit of a story and stuff. But the middle, like I usually give some action steps you can be taking. So it's just a few simple steps. Like don't get overwhelming for people. Don't give them too much information because then they're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, like just either they're gonna tune out or they're gonna think, oh, I have to go do all this stuff, and get totally overwhelmed. So keep it simple. Give them like a few simple steps that they could take. And that's really like the middle or the meat of your video. And then the end, you typically want to give a call to action. So give them something that they, like a step that they could do or something you want them to do. Like, and this is just good for getting engagement. So it could be like comment. When you're doing a live video, you can get people to comment as you're going, which is nice. Maybe sign up for something that you have or an offer. You can see I talked about my ideal client worksheet, which is something, it's a call to action as well. It could be signing up for a free call with you. You know, those are all different actions that you can be asking people to take. But you really want to add that into your videos and it's really any sort of content you're putting out there because it increases engagement and it gets people taking action. So those are really like the main pieces you want to think about when you're thinking about your script for your video or what you're going to say. And I keep it simple. It takes me like 5 minutes. I just jot down some notes and then I just do it from there. And then the last piece is practice. Just practice, practice, practice. Like the more you do them, the easier they get. We're always way more judgmental of ourselves than anyone else is of us. So a lot of times we're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, we'll write something or we'll do something. We're like, oh, that's crap. And then other people watch it and they're like, oh, that was amazing. It was so good. And truly the more you do them, the easier they'll get and the better they'll get and the more they'll flow. So just know that like anything, it's a practice. And the more you do them, the easier they get. So those were the main tips I have for you. Let me know if you found those helpful. Do you guys have any questions when it comes to doing videos, anything that I didn't cover? Because I'd be happy to answer them as well. And like I said, you don't need like any fancy equipment. I don't use like a microphone. I don't have a special light. Usually you want to be facing like a window and not have the sun like blasting on you like it is on me right now. But it's good to have the sun in front of you so that you're lit and not dark. And then just make sure you're somewhere quiet so you don't have like a lot of background noise. But other than that, you can keep it really simple. Typically I just stick my phone like right up on and I use my phone because I think it gets a better image than if you use the video on your computer or your laptop. So your phone has a better quality image. So I typically use that. I just put it up on my computer and I'm ready to go and stack it on some books so it's the right height. And it works just fine. So you don't need anything fancy to get started at all. So I hope you guys found that helpful. You know, let me know if you have any questions about doing video. If you catch the replay, you know, let me know if you found that helpful or have questions as well. Hey, April, I want to see if I missed anyone. But I want to thank all of you guys so much for joining me. And like I said, if you have any questions about any of that, to like send me a message and I'm happy to help you as well, especially with the ideal client. Like if you're getting stuck there, send me a message and let's chat because I could help you get that figured out so that you can just move on forward. Because it's a shame to have like all this amazing stuff to offer and to not move forward with your business and start helping people and start, you know, creating the life that you really want as far as being able to do the work you want to do and get the income just because you're getting stuck on these little things like your ideal client's a big thing, but you're getting stuck on these things that are holding you back from moving forward. So if that's happening, you know, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. So happy Friday, everyone. I hope you have an amazing weekend. It's going to be beautiful here. I'm planning on going to the farmer's market and spending lots of time outside. So I hope you guys are going to have beautiful weather as well. And I will chat with all of you guys soon. Bye. Bye, Roxy.